Hello, everybody. My name is Master Chen.
I'm Zenify.
And you are either watching or listening to Mental Overflow. So this is episode 7. This is episode 7.
Yes.
This is episode 7 of Mental Overflow. We are recording. Now, I didn't say this last time. It's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. We are recording from Synshop, the Las Vegas Valley hackerspace, like we always do. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. We are in Henderson, but we are still considered the Las Vegas Valley hackerspace. We do a lot of stuff here. Makers, builders, tinkerers, and hackers, of course, obviously. Yeah. We are at Mental Overflow on Twitter. I am at Chenbox, CHENB0X on Twitter.
And I am at Zenify_EXE.
All right, so let's get started. So for those of you who don't know, this series or this show is specifically designed or really focuses on social engineering and psychology. We do a lot of hacking stuff in general, but we feel this show is really designed towards the people influence, the people tools, right? So we've talked about quite a few things. We've talked about framing. We've talked about pretexting. The first real episode was talking about getting past no as a rejection. You know, we've talked about in the last episode we talked about mirroring and influencing through speech patterns or not speech patterns. I'm sorry, but like ways of learning, how people take in the information of the world. So today, instead of bus rolling all the topics so quickly, we want to take a step back a little bit. This might be a little bit of a quicker episode, but I wanted to talk about some books that we might recommend to you to read, do your own research, do your own studies, and then we'll continue on other topics in our next episode. So this episode is really just what do we read, what do we study, really. So Zenify, go ahead and go first.
So the first book that I want to suggest is it's kind of a short book. I think it's only about 4 hours long on Audible, and the title is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. When I've read the book, or I've listened to the book, I've listened to it twice in the car, about a couple months apart, but it really hit me with the way he approaches situations and the way he overall thinks the over arc of it all with communication, people, what they think about you, what they think of what you think about them, such like that. Like, and obviously towards the title, it's just not giving a fuck. Like, he approaches a situation, it might be a shit situation, but just don't give a fuck. Like, just deal with it and move on. I mean, it might be crippling fate or something like that, but fuck it. I love that book.
Okay,
and It's a quick one.
All right. Yeah. So are we gonna go shot for shot, or do you want to give your whole list and then I'll go?
Well, shot for shot.
Okay. All right. So actually, I didn't even get the author of this book, but my first book recommendation is called Never Split the Difference. And this guy was a hostage negotiator for the FBI. Okay. And obviously, a lot of stuff involved there. Persuasion, how to influence the person that you're across the aisle from. Hold on, let me pull it up really quick. I am also using Audible. So, damn it.
We're not sponsored yet.
No, but I should have had this prepared, damn it. My fault. But yeah, so it's called Never Split the Difference. And so this dude's an FBI negotiator, and he's talking about what to say, what not to say, things that can get you in trouble. And it's not like you're going to be negotiating hostage situations on a daily basis. Yeah. But you can use these principles for, like, maybe negotiating a raise at work, or negotiating how to get out of an argument easier with a loved one, or whatever the case may be. And so that's kind of where he's focusing on. So he's taken the hostage negotiation techniques and bringing it down to a level that we would use on a daily basis. Yeah. And by the way, that author is Chris Voss, V-O-S-S, Chris Voss. So I don't know if that sounds familiar, but
It does.
You might know him, I don't know. So that's my recommendation. Your turn, shot for shot.
Okay. The next one is we talked about in last episode, actually. It was What Everybody Is Saying, And, you know, in the title of the book or the cover page, body is all capitalized because the book is about the human body and how, you know, what is it, something like 85% or 90% of all communication is through body language. Mm-hmm. So he really takes that to heart and explains to you just the different parts of the body and what they're exactly saying, and obviously per situational basis. But the main one that I never thought about, I'm always looking at like the face, the hands. That's all I ever did. But a big portion of body language is through the feet. The feet and the legs, where they're positioned, if they're pointing towards each other, pointing away from each other, one's in front of the other, it's just straight still, if they're tapping, just there's so many different tells. Yeah. And that part and portion of the book, that segment really, you know, drew me in.
You know, I have that book. I still haven't read it. I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but yeah. I do need to get into that. I use Audible because I hate driving.
Yeah.
And so if I could just take in information at that time, that's great for me. I've noticed, of course, I used to read a lot in high school, and before that, I mean, a lot. Like 2 or 3 books a week, you know. Mm-hmm. But that's because I had the time to do so. And I just can't find the time to do that. And so Audible really helps me still take in that information, but, you know, not have to sit and I think it's read to me faster than I could read it anyway. So, so I actually finish the books faster. I'm at about like 2 books a month, and that's just because I'm driving or whatever.
I am not at 2 books a month. I have like 4 credits, and I actually got an email from Audible saying once you hit 6 credits, you're not going to get any more.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They cap you at credits. I'm like, shit, I got to buy some books.
Wow. Okay. Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I bought my credits, I used my credits, so I only have 1 for this month.
Yeah.
But I still have 3 books that I have to read with the credits that were used.
Yeah.
So, all right. My next recommendation for books, again, this is it'll be Art of Seduction.
Okay.
By Robert Greene, the same guy who wrote 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of Warfare, and Mastery. Again, and 50th Law. All books that I'd recommend, but specifically for social engineering, I would recommend The Art of Seduction, because seduction, of course, a lot of people think of it as a romantic thing, which it most definitely is. Most of the examples in that book are romantic examples. Casanova, Cleopatra, etc. But seduction is also in a charismatic sense, right? Like the salesperson who seduced you into buying X, or you know. So there's those examples too. But Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. The thing that I love most about that author is that he uses historical examples to really push his point across. And I know you just got 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to love that book because
it's like 23 hours.
Yeah, but it's worth every fucking minute, dude. I'm telling you. Well, because so what Robert Greene does is he takes history lessons and dissects them based on the chapter. So like the chapter is like one of the 48 Laws of Power, never outshine the master. And he gives you like 2 or 3 historical examples that back up that law.
Of people trying to outshine the master?
Yes, and what you learn from their mistakes. It's fucking great, dude. It's phenomenal.
I'm so excited.
But all of his books are like that.
Yeah.
So the 48 Laws of Power, again, I would really recommend that. And I would say only half that book is dealing with social engineering. But Art of Seduction, like all of that book, is dealing with social engineering. But all of his books have historical examples, what you've learned from history, and it all backs up the underlying issue or the underlying lesson in the chapter. It's great. It's fucking great.
Okay.
Your turn.
Sweet. I'm gonna pull up my sticky note again. This is my last book because I only put down 4.
That's fine.
The next one.
This is a shorter episode.
I don't know if I mentioned the authors of my last book. What everybody is saying.
You did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Joe Navarro and Marvin.
Did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this book, The Like Switch, it's also written by ex-FBI, Jack Schaefer, and again, Marvin Carlins, who also co-authored the last book.
Okay.
The Like Switch is kind of, from what it sounds like, a lot about your seduction book. It's basically just trying to, you learn about persuasion techniques and almost manipulation techniques. They talk about how they have, of course, female FBI agents who are drop-dead gorgeous, and you wouldn't know that they're an FBI agent, and they could get you to say some shit that you would not fucking tell people, and it's just like
the hacker on Twitter example, Robin Young.
Okay.
I think that was it was a handle, so it's not a real person, but I could be wrong, but I think it was Robin Young, and that was the handle, and it was just and we'll fact check this, of course, but it was just a Twitter handle that like had a really attractive avatar, and these people would just talk to her or it because they thought that she was a real person, maybe somewhat flirtatious or whatever, and they would just give up these corporate secrets, dude.
Really?
And it's like, wow, yeah, wonderful example of just.
Yeah, we'll have to fact check that. I don't know if I'm finding anything right off the bat.
Is it Robin Young? I think I mean I never talked to her, but I think I was following her one time. But that was only because it was like suggested in like information security, right?
Okay.
Fuck. Now it's gonna bug me. Try ROBYN maybe Robin Young. I can't remember. In any case, it was a fake Twitter account, and because of the attractiveness, just So like switch.
Yeah,
I'll have to get that one.
So that one's as well really good.
All right, awesome. All right, my last recommendation. So I guess this is the last of the episode. Okay, so my last recommendation probably should have been my first, but I use this a lot in my recommendations. Is The Art of War, written like thousands of years ago by Sun Tzu, and translated into English by the French, and then translated into French and then into English. It was translated into French first.
Okay.
But it's The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu. Very famous book, of course. I'm sure that this is not the first time you may have heard about it.
I haven't read it, but...
Dude. So the reason why I bring it up in social engineering is because, to me, and I really do believe this, to me, everything is warfare.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a battle sense. I don't mean that you're going to battle. I don't mean that there will be bloodshed.
Yeah.
What I mean by everything is warfare is everything is strategic. You know where they say all is fair in love and war?
Yeah.
I think all is fair in love, war, and business. Basically, every aspect of life. I think, right? Yeah. My point being, if you look at The Art of War in a completely 100% strategic book, it can help you tremendously with your social engineering. Yeah. You know, because in the end, it's all strategy. It's all strategy, and that's why I would definitely recommend The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Okay, sweet. I mean, I have three or four more credits, so
there you go.
I'm going to pick up every single book you recommended,
and I'm going to pick up those. So maybe I shouldn't waste an Audible credit on a book that I have physically. Yeah. But I will get the like switch, and so
sweet.
All right, guys, this is going to be a shorter episode, but please join us again next week with episode 8 of Mental Overflow. We wanted to take a break from our kind of lesson hitting, and then we're going to be right back into it next week. So join us again. We are at Mental Overflow on Twitter. We are getting all of our social media kind of built up, and we do this on a weekly basis. We are recording, not broadcasting. But we are recording from the Sin Shop Hackerspace in Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. I said it already, but we are at Mental Overflow on Twitter. I am at Chenbox, CHENB0X.
And I'm at Zenify, which is Zenify_EXE.
And thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.